vciso-au Cyberwatch, 30th December 2025. Strategic Cybersecurity Intelligence Brief powered by vciso-au. Stay informed, stay prepared, stay secure. Ensure your cybersecurity program is both proactive and verifiable. By Yeswanth Bodeda, DW Report, ANZ. None Australia, none news from Deep Web. Dark Daily Web, EasyTick data breach. Exposes over 20,000 user records. EasyTick, easytick.com. A French online ticketing and event management platform has allegedly been compromised after a database containing information on over 20,000 users was leaked on a popular hacking forum. The breach, which reportedly occurred in December 2025, resulted in the exposure of sensitive user account details and transaction history. Kumpulan Prasarana Rakyat Johor, KPRJ. Data breach, 180 GB leaked. Kumpulan Prasarana Rakyat Johor, KPRJ, the state-owned infrastructure and property development company of Johor, Malaysia, has allegedly been compromised in a significant data breach. The company, which serves as a primary executive arm for the Johor state government, manages large-scale construction projects, multi-million-dollar contracts, and strategic state land developments. The breach was reportedly carried out by an unidentified party who is now offering the stolen database for sale on an underground forum for 1.5 BTC. Erita data breach, customs and logistics firm, sensitive data exposed. Erica.com, a prominent Mexican customs agency and third-party logistics 3PL provider with over a century of operations, has reportedly suffered a significant data breach. The company, which holds CETPAT and OEA certifications, specializes in international trade, warehousing, and customs processing for businesses involved in global import and export activities. The breach allegedly involves a substantial archive of sensitive business and financial records spanning a decade of operations. The allegedly compromised data, totaling approximately 5.6 GB and covering the period from 2015 to 2025. Unauthorized backdoor access to Intelligence X threat intelligence platform listed for sale. Threat actor sells bulk WordPress credentials affecting 275,000 plus accounts across unique domains. Lapsus claims breach of Italian Ministry of Economy and Finance. Database dump. Threatened Thor Airlines allegedly breached. Full database with customer records leaked online. Al Nassr FC confidential documents and 68K Asian football personnel. Records offered for sale. French Management School CRM database. Offered for sale following VPS compromise. Lapsus Group. Claims 60 GB data leak from French Ministry of Agriculture. 1-point MongoBleed detector tool. Released to detect MongoDB vulnerability. CVE 2025-14847. An open-source detection tool has been released to help organizations identify potential exploitation of MongoBleed, CVE 2025 or 14847, a critical memory disclosure vulnerability in MongoDB. MongoBleed allows attackers to extract sensitive data directly from server memory without authentication. Exposed data may include credentials, session tokens, and personally identifiable information, PII. The vulnerability exists in MongoDB's zlib decompression mechanism. Affected MongoDB versions range from 4.4 through 8.2.2. The MongoBleed detector is an offline command line tool designed for security and forensic use. It analyzes MongoDB JSON log files to detect signs of exploitation. The tool operates without network connectivity or additional agents, making it suitable for incident response and post-breach analysis. Detection is based on correlating 3 MongoDB log event types: connection accepted 22943, client metadata 518800, and connection closed 22944. Legitimate MongoDB drivers always send client metadata immediately after connecting. MongoBleed exploitation patterns involve connections that extract memory and disconnect without sending metadata. The detector flags high-volume connections from a single IP, missing metadata, and short-duration bursts exceeding 100,000 connections per minute. It supports compressed log files, processes both IPv4 and IPv6 addresses, and categorizes risk into high, medium, low, and info levels. The tool offers configurable detection thresholds and a forensic folder mode to analyze evidence from multiple hosts. A Python wrapper enables remote execution via SSH, allowing teams to scan multiple MongoDB instances, and GitHub guidance urges organizations to patch immediately and use the detector to assess compromise. 2. Windows LPE vulnerabilities via kernel drivers and named pipes allows privilege. Escalation security researchers are increasingly focusing on privilege escalation attacks exploiting two major Windows attack surfaces, kernel drivers and named pipes. These attack vectors abuse trust boundary weaknesses between user mode and kernel mode, enabling escalation from standard user privileges to system-level access. Kernel drivers represent a significant local privilege escalation (LPE) risk due to insufficient input validation in IOCTL (I/O control) handlers. In WDM-based drivers operating in method-buffered mode, the Windows I/O Manager allocates kernel buffers but does not validate user-supplied data. This lack of validation creates a critical gap where malicious IOCTL requests can pass crafted pointer and length values into kernel context. Attackers exploit this by causing the kernel to misinterpret user-controlled data as trusted kernel memory. By abusing kernel APIs such as mmap_iospace, attackers can establish arbitrary kernel read-write primitives. These primitives enable token theft attacks, where the system process token is read and written into the attacker's process structure. Successful token replacement grants attackers full system privileges. Named pipes, widely used for inter-process communication by system services, present an equally dangerous attack surface. Although named pipes use message-based protocols rather than direct memory access, many services implicitly trust pipe communications. The attack method involves identifying system-owned named pipes with overly permissive ACLs that allow everyone read-write access, then reverse engineering the pipe protocol. Researchers have observed services that process pipe requests without sufficient authorization checks, allowing standard users to trigger administrative actions. One documented case involved a commercial antivirus product where a poorly secured named pipe enabled attackers to modify HKLM registry keys and abuse image file execution options, IFIO, for system-level code execution. Researchers, including findings published by Hacky Boys, recommend auditing third-party kernel drivers, enforcing strict IOCTL validation, inventorying exposed named pipes, tightening ACLs, and implementing explicit permission checks to defend against LPE attacks. 3. 2.5 million plus malicious request from hackers attacking Adobe Cold Fusion servers. A coordinated exploitation campaign generated over 2.5 million malicious requests during the Christmas 2025 holiday period, targeting Adobe Cold Fusion servers and more than 47 other technology platforms. The activity was attributed to a single threat actor operating from Japan-based infrastructure, indicating a highly centralized and organized operation. The campaign reflects an advanced vulnerability scanning effort, probing both legacy and modern flaws spanning more than 20 years. The Cold Fusion-specific phase exploited 10-plus critical CVEs from 2023-2024, with 68% of Cold Fusion attack traffic occurring on Christmas Day. The timing suggests intentional exploitation of holiday downtime, when security monitoring and response teams typically operate with reduced staffing. Approximately 5,940 requests targeted Cold Fusion servers across 20 countries. The United States accounted for 68% of Cold Fusion attack sessions, making it the most targeted region. 2 IP addresses, 134.122, 136.119, and 134.122, 136 and 96, generated the majority of attack traffic. Both IPs were hosted by CTG Server Limited, which served as the campaign's primary infrastructure provider. The attacker used Project Discovery Interact, an out-of-band application security testing (OAST) platform, to validate exploit callbacks. Nearly 10,000 unique OAST domains were deployed across oast.pro, oast.site, and oast.me services. The primary cold fusion attack vector exploited WDDX deserialization, enabling JNDI LDAP injection via the com.sun.roset.jdbc roset IMPL gadget chain. Cold fusion exploitation represented only 0.2% of the total campaign, indicating it was a small subset of a much broader operation. Full analysis revealed systematic reconnaissance against 767 distinct CVEs, spanning Java application servers, web frameworks, CMS platforms, and enterprise software. 4. Traditional security frameworks leave organizations exposed to AI-specific attack vectors. Multiple high-profile incidents across 2024-2025, including the Ultralytics AI library compromise, malicious NX packages, and ChatGPT memory extraction flaws, expose systemic weaknesses in how organizations secure AI systems. In December 2024, compromised Ultralytics packages hijacked compute resources for cryptocurrency mining, while August 2025 saw malicious NX packages leak 2,349 GitHub, cloud, and AI credentials. Throughout 2024, ChatGPT vulnerabilities enabled unauthorized extraction of user data from AI memory despite strong perimeter and access controls. In total, 23.77 million secrets were leaked via AI systems in 2024, representing a 25% year-over-year increase. A common factor across all incidents was that affected organizations had mature security programs, passed audits, and met compliance requirements. The failures occurred because traditional security frameworks were not designed for AI-specific attack surfaces, not because controls were improperly implemented. Major frameworks including NIST CSF, ISO 27001, and CIS controls focus on traditional assets and do not provide guidance on prompt injection, model poisoning, or AI supply chain attacks. AI introduces attack vectors that do not map to existing control families, creating blind spots even in fully compliant environments. Prompt injection attacks bypass authentication entirely using valid natural language, evading traditional input validation controls designed for structured exploits. Model poisoning occurs during authorized training workflows, allowing malicious data to corrupt models without triggering integrity controls. AI supply chain risks extend beyond software components to include pre-trained models, datasets, and ML frameworks, which current vendor risk and SBOM controls cannot adequately assess. Real-world breaches demonstrated that attackers exploited AI development pipelines, prompt handling logic, and AI-assisted tooling rather than infrastructure vulnerabilities. Detection and response challenges are growing, with average breach identification taking 276 days and AI-specific attacks likely taking longer due to the lack of established indicators. Experts warn organizations must move beyond compliance, conducting AI-specific risk assessments, inventorying AI systems, implementing semantic DLP, validating model integrity, updating incident response plans, and building internal AI security expertise as regulatory pressure intensifies. Ransomware victims, United States NK Technologies, Technology, Industrial Sensing, Bernex Corporation, Manufacturing, Precision Metal Components, Willowdale Steeplechase, Events, Nonprofit, APC, Home Health Service, Healthcare, Home Care Services, South Korea, INHA University, Education, Higher Education and Research, Austria, Powat Architekten, Professional Services, Architecture and Design, Saudi Arabia, Saudi Icon, Construction, Design and Build Services, Spain, Grupo Hafisa, Energy, Oil and Energy Trading, Syntac Recycling, Manufacturing, Recycling and Waste Management. Final note from vciso-au, Australia and New Zealand remain relatively untouched this week, but the global threat landscape continues to shift. Critical infrastructure, software supply chains, and endpoint security are under siege. Ensure your cybersecurity program is both proactive and verifiable. By Yeswanth Bodeda.